Hello everyone, today we have Q&A episode number 9, so let's get into some questions. First up, coming from Maroon KP, Rubik's Cube. I really appreciate how much you have achieved in your really young age. I would like to ask how you are able to manage school along with cubing and YouTube. So for me, school is my priority over my cubing, so oftentimes during the year, especially this year, if you'll see long gaps with no videos, probably because I'm swamped with schoolwork as I am right now, which kind of stinks. However, I do make that my priority, and I try to get as much practice time in as possible. Have been practicing more recently since I do have a competition coming up. However, I try to put my schoolwork first before my cubing, which stinks, but I do bring some cubes to school every so often, and I like to use them at school and get some practice in there too. Next up, a question coming from DM Cubing. Wow, your dad competed in 3x3. How did he do? It's cool that he's supportive and shares your passion for cubing. Yeah, I'm really thankful that my dad is so supportive of my channel and my cubing. He's the one that got me into cubing, so I have him to thank for that. However, he did do really well at the competition, I think. I believe he got like a 103 average, and on his last solve he did get a 58, so he has his official sub 1 minute single, which he was really happy about, and I was really happy that he was able to get that. I don't know when he'll be competing again, but I'm hoping that he'll be able to get a lot more sub 1s, probably a sub 1 average pretty soon coming up in the future. DK Cuber had a bunch of questions. How old are you? What do you think about the Angstrom GAN SM? Is it still slow? Do you think Max Park is beating Feliks Zemdegs? Who do you think will win Worlds 2019? Do you think Leo Borromeo is the next Feliks Zemdegs? And can you sing? First up, I'm 16. The Angstrom GAN SM is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Angstrom 3x3s that has come out so far. I really like it. It's not my main, but it is still very good, and it's sped up a lot, but not to an uncontrollable rate. It's actually probably the most controllable of all the Angstrom 3x3s, in my opinion. Max Park has definitely taken out Feliks in 4 through 7. I think Feliks probably still has an edge on him in 3x3, but I wouldn't be surprised if Max Park overtakes Feliks in 3x3 in, like, officially as well. Since his at-home PBs, I think, are probably a bit faster than Feliks's, I think he's definitely going to get there in the future. I think it's going to be Feliks or Max in Worlds next year. I'm assuming Max is going. I can't imagine he wouldn't go. But I think that Feliks or Max would definitely be the ones to win. I think the two of them are just so far ahead of everyone else. There's definitely a lot of other fast contenders. I think if Jungkook Nam goes or if Patrick Ponce goes, they could have a chance at the podium, but really I don't think they're going to be beating Feliks or Max. I definitely think Leo has a lot of potential. I don't know if he's going to be as amazing at everything as Feliks was, but I think there's definitely the potential for him to be amazing at everything. He's already crushing it at 3x3 and really good at the other events as well. And to be only 11 and averaging like low 7s and getting really good times, like 5s, it's just crazy. I don't know how he does it, but he's so good, and he totally has a lot of potential. And no, I can't sing. Nolan asked if I've ever tried virtual cubes on CS Timer. I have definitely tried them. I really like them. I haven't really learned all the keys, so I'm not too efficient at it. But I do like to do 3x3 virtual a lot. I've done 2x2. I figured out like some of the bigger cubes, like 4x4. I've done Scube and Square 1, but I don't really do them like, I don't really practice them at all. I basically just do 3x3, and I average like low 20s, maybe mid-teens. Super Crazy Cuber asked, what is your favorite cubing brand such as Chi, Moyu, Yushin, etc., and why? I think overall, like in general, Chi is my favorite brand. I use their cubes for 4x4, 5x5, 6x6, 7x7, and basically all the side events like Mega, Square 1, Pyraminx, Scube. So I think across the board they have amazing cubes, and I don't use their cubes for 2x2 or 3x3, I use Moyu cubes for those, but I could easily switch. I feel like the Valk Power is still a contestant for my main, it's very good, and the Wuxia is very good as well. I'm excited for the Valk that's coming up too, but I think across the board, Chi has the best puzzles, and for me, I guess Moyu's a close second. 5K Cuber AKC asked, how fast do you think a 10-year-old can get at speed cubing at 3x3? As long as you practice a lot, you could technically be as fast as the fastest people in the world. You look at Leo Borromeo, he just turned 11 and he's averaging 7 seconds. So it's definitely not impossible to be world class when you're only 10 years old, if you're willing to put in the time. And granted, Leo's been practicing for a while, but if you're only 10, you have a lot of time to be practicing, and you totally have the potential to be really, really good. That said, everyone progresses at a different rate. My progression has been pretty slow. My times have been slowly dropping through the years, and I'm just trying to break sub 10 now. But you could definitely be sub 10 in like a year. I know some people do it in around that time if you really put your mind to it. Smashing Cuber asks, I started 8th grade this week. Any tips? And also I want to show my new friends my new YouTube channel, but I don't want them to make fun of me. I think I started my channel in freshman year, and I didn't really tell anyone about it, except for my Cuber friends, because I didn't want to be like, hey, look at my YouTube channel, I have 2 subscribers. Frankly, I was a bit embarrassed, but once I got a few subscribers, I wasn't as embarrassed about it anymore, and I started telling people about it. And slowly some of my closer friends began to find out about the channel, which I didn't really mind, but I didn't like them going around and telling people about my channel because I was very self-conscious about it. Personally, no one's made fun of me for it. They all think it's pretty cool. They might think it's a bit nerdy, but they're not going to make fun of me for it. Master Phi, how long have you been cubing, you and your father? So my dad first learned how to cube in the 80s, like when the cube was the most popular and he knew how to solve it back then, but just not with an efficient method. And so I got him back into it around a few years ago when I got back into it at the same time. So I've been cubing competitively for about three and a half years now, but I've known how to solve a cube for about 5 years. And my dad started competing 3 years ago also at the same time I did. NHCuber asked, do you think it is true people switch to new cubes just because they are new or because they are truly better? I've stayed on my Yushin Little Magic since it came out, and it is still great. Yeah, there is definitely no shame to not upgrading your puzzle at all. Yushin Little Magic is a really good cube, and if you get really good times with it, and you don't really have any problems with it, there's seriously no reason that you need to upgrade, unless you have the money to spend and you really want to try another cube. One of the things that I tell most people to do is try a cube at a competition before you decide on actually buying it, because that was something I used to do all the time. I would go to competitions, try the newest cubes, you know. I would go up to a YouTuber that had tested the product for a cubing company, and then I would say, hey, can I try that new product? And if I liked it, maybe I would think about buying it when I got home, or if I really didn't like it, I would say, ooh, maybe I shouldn't get that puzzle. And I think that most of the people that have the money available will just buy every new cube. And I know that frustrates some people because they think, oh, well, you're just buying the new cube just because it came out. It's not going to make you any faster. And for the most part, it's not going to make you any faster. It depends on what type of jump you're talking about. If you're going from something like a cheese stale or some older non-magnetic cube to a premium magnetic cube, maybe they're upgrading because their cube is actually truly better. But if you're upgrading from like a GAN Air SM to a GAN 356X, then yeah, in my opinion, the X is a much better cube than the SM, but it's not going to drop your average at all. AJ Cubing asked, what is the farthest you've traveled for a cubing competition? So I've gone pretty far for the national competitions, and I believe the farthest was Portland, Oregon in 2016. I also went down to Hilton Head, I went out to Indiana, and this past year I went to Salt Lake City, Utah. However, the farthest I've traveled for a non-national, like a local competition, would be the Shaker competition in Ohio a few years ago. That was around a 7 or 8 hour drive. Last up from Tala Tariq, do you have to qualify for the World Championships or can anyone go? So at least for Worlds 2017, there were qualifying times for each of the events. Many of them were quite lenient, such as 3x3, 2x2, and Pyraminx. All you had to do was at least have one official solve in that event. So the WCA basically wants people that compete at World Championships to have the experience of at least one local competition before going and competing at these World or National Championships. The qualification times I listed were the ones for 2017, and I don't know if they're going to change going into 2019. However, I'm like 99% sure they will have qualification times again. So that basically wraps it up for Q&A number 9. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them next month. So that's about all I have for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.